It's time for this week's episode of Brandon Sports Talk, featuring in-depth interviews from those who are trending in the world of athletics. And now, here's the host of Brandon Sports Talk, Brandon Pate.
Welcome back to Brandon Sports Talk. In today's episode, I have the privilege to interview Pat Curran, who is going to talk about the NIL, the name, image, and likeness. How are you doing today?
I'm well. How are you?
I'm doing good. Can you talk about how you knew that you wanted to be involved and get involved in the name, image, and likeness?
Yeah. So I was a former college athlete. I played at Bowling Green Division I football. I was just a guy. I wasn't like some elite athlete, but I coached some D2, D3 football after that and worked in a couple of different athletic marketing departments. And then fast forward to a couple of years ago, and what I do now or up until this week is work with pro athletes on off the field, name, image, likeness type stuff, off the field, off the court, that is. So now when this all really started to come about a year ago, we said, shoot, this is a great opportunity for us to be advocates for athletes, work with a handful of athletes and really teach them, educate them, and help them be a business person and not just an athlete. And also understanding that the window of opportunity is so small for so many athletes.
Of course, can you talk about your Curran Media?
Yes, Curran Media is my company, and we started, a handful of years ago. And at the time, what we were doing is we were working more with media companies on marketing and branding. So worked with some big companies on campaigns and opportunities, but mostly what we were trying to do, most of those campaigns, I should say, we were working with athletes, and we weren't bringing them in. It was the media company or the brand that paid for it. And we saw a lot of missed opportunities by athletes. So we really shifted a couple of years ago to then work with college athletes or work with athletes, now college athletes, obviously, but to help them understand these massive opportunities. Whether you're a pro at 36 or you're now an 18-year-old in college, there's tons and tons of opportunities. And you never know when this window of being an athlete is over, like an on the field, on the court athlete. So it's important to understand that value and understand that time frame is short, whether it's 6 months or a year or 17 years, or you're Tom Brady and it's 21 years, that window at some point is going to end. So understanding how to really build an audience and build a community through social and try to build all these other opportunities around it.
What is your podcast, BS podcast, about?
Yeah, so our business and BS podcast is sports podcast. We talk about stuff like this. We talk about a lot. We had a UFC fighter on last time, and he was talking about crypto and real estate, and we just want to help people shift their mindset around business in the sports world. A lot of people do the same old things. We're really different around our mindset. So we just, that's why we call it business and BS. We talk some business and we BS a little bit.
Of course, with the new NIL passing just the other day, What are some of the things that you have already done?
Yeah, we don't have anything to announce today. So it just passed 2 days ago as we're talking. I've talked to a bunch of athletes, dozens of athletes, dozens of parents. We have some people signed with us, and we'll continue to do that. We'll announce some stuff next week, and we're being different than a lot of places. There's some people who have done some good stuff. There's a lot of people who have not done some good stuff, but our mindset around this is to be strategic and calculated, not rush into things when we don't need to rush into them, have real relationships with our athletes and their families, and build long-term type partnerships with brands. And long-term could mean like 3 months, by the way. We don't want to do just one-off hype deals for the most part. We'll do that from time to time, but we want to build long-term type deals and relationships.
Of course, can you talk about how it benefits the college athletes with the new rule passing versus former athletes?
Yeah, well, one, they can make money. That's an obvious one, right? That's a big opportunity that's never been able to happen before, and I think that's only fair. But for us, again, it's not just about money. It's about learning. This is the most hands-on education opportunity of all time. They can actually learn how to do a deal. It's not a fake project for school. They learn how to do a deal. They learn how to build a brand. They learn how to start a business. Or, I saw one student athlete who's really good at graphic design. Well, now he can finally get paid to do these really good graphic designs. So understanding that they can build all of these things around that with the platform they have. Again, most athletes are just college athletes, will never make money to play their sport, but they can use and leverage that platform to create opportunities for their life.
Of course, with the new NIL, do you see college athletes being able to make money off of jersey sales, at least maybe a portion of it?
I don't think so. I don't think that'll happen. I don't think, well, at least today, most places are not allowing it. Because so how it works is some across the country we have a basically NCAA guidelines, and that's part of this. But each state has their own, or not necessarily yet. A lot of states, I think it's like 20 something states have their own. If they don't have a rule set, school has the rule set. And as of today, I've not seen one place be like, yeah, I'll sell jerseys. So I don't think that'll happen. I don't think you can. I know for sure you can't have logos of schools and stuff like that today. Could that change in the future? Sure.
Of course, with it passing, do you see more sports agents being able to help these college athletes that are still in college?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Now, and they're allowed to. They can start doing that. Well, that's what we're doing, right? We're from an agency's type standpoint. We're only off outside of the sport. No sporting contracts is what we do. But we've started to see some do it. Some jump into the space, and we'll see a lot more here over the next couple of weeks.
Of course, what are some things that college athletes can do now that they can make money off their name, image, and likeness?
Sure. Appearances. They could sell T-shirts. They could do obviously any sort of partnership through Instagrams or autograph signings or brand partnerships or commercials or YouTube channels or Twitch channels or podcasts. And that's just like the tip of the iceberg. Everyone, when we talk to an athlete, everything's going to be different, build around who they are specifically. But they can basically make money off anything except getting paid to play and getting paid based on performance. But all this other stuff is on the table.
Of course, later down on the line, do you see them getting paid to play?
It's a whole nother world. That's probably way above my pay grade to discuss. I don't know. I mean, does it seem realistic? No. Could it happen? Maybe. It's got to be an NCAA and get ADs on board to do it. I just don't see it happening anytime soon.
Of course, with the name, image, and likeness, can you talk about being able to trademark your logo or sayings?
Yeah. And I think depending on the person, it's definitely worth investing. I think Graham Mertz from Wisconsin was the first one that I saw do it. And he put his GM, whatever it was, on there. I think too many people are focused on logos. I don't think logos mean anything. I would rather just put out some stuff based around you and who you are as a person. Not that. I mean, logos are cool, right? They can add value to what you're doing, I guess. But too many people are stuck on like my brand is this logo thing that goes on a shirt. It's way more than that.
Of course, with being able to do social media deals, what can they do when it comes to that, and how can you help them?
Yeah, well, what they can do is anything that's not obviously against rules, like drinking, gambling, weed, tobacco, stuff like that, adult entertainment. They can do that, and then in the actual partnerships, they can't have anything that's school logo affiliated. So, like at Bowling Green, couldn't have a Falcon or BGSU or whatever they are now, Adidas or something like that. So you can't have any of that stuff in there. And then, you can create opportunities with all these different places. We've seen Boost Mobile. We've seen Instagram accounts support athletes and pay for stuff. We've seen underwear companies and gaming companies. And we've seen a bunch of stuff already at this point. We're only 2 days in. We'll see a ton more come about as we go.
Of course, how has it been like working with them, knowing that they've getting this opportunity to get brand deals?
Yeah, well, people are excited. So people are excited about it. They're also clueless for the most part. Don't have any idea where to go, how to do it, what to say. It's Saturday morning when we're doing this right now, and I've had 3 different athletes reach out to me about a business who reached out to them. 3 athletes I'm probably not going to work with, by the way. They just happen to hit me up on Instagram and be like, yo, I got a question. And so they just don't know what to do or how to do it, but they damn sure want to do something. And so some people are doing some I'd say highly undervalued deals. Some are being patient, and I think that should be the move. If you need to put the lights on and mom needs it back home to buy groceries and you got to take $150, take it, do it. But I think people could and should be more patient.
Of course, how do you come up with some of the ideas that you do on TikTok?
Everybody's different. So like, you mean me specifically or you mean other people?
Yes, you specifically.
Oh, I'm just talking. So what I do on my TikTok @Pat_Curran Media, shameless plug there. But what I do is I talk about what people can do. So here are some ideas on opportunities. Here's a mindset around name, image, likeness. Here's the mindset around brand building. Here's what this athlete did that I thought was really good. Here's what this athlete did that I thought wasn't great. How can we improve it? Or it was pretty good, but it could have been great. And let's improve that. So I'm really just scanning on IG or scanning on TikTok, and I see a good thing or a not great thing, and I say, all right, I'm going to talk about this so other thousands of people can see it when I post it.
Can you talk about, of course, when it comes to college athletes being able to do their own YouTube channel and podcast, what are some of the tips you would give for them?
Only do it if it's going to be interesting. One, because it takes time and effort. And if that's not your personality or vibe and it's not going to be something people watch, probably don't invest time in it. But if you got past that step and you think you can be that, is be authentic to you. Don't try to be like somebody else is doing, or they might have good ideas, but fit those ideas to you. From a podcast standpoint, I've talked to a couple of people that I think would do really good on podcasts. And I've talked to some people who brought up podcasts that I don't know that they would succeed in it, because it's a different thing. You got to lead a conversation. It's different than having a conversation. It's different. So I would be interesting. I would have a general vibe, and that could be like sports and pop culture, but have a general vibe behind it and can be consistent with it. Don't post once a week or once a year, and then next week you're posting 3 in a week, and then 6 months from now is the next one. Like, be consistent with it.
Of course, can you talk about when it comes to the EA Sports game, can players make money off of that?
I don't know how that's going to work, but I did see something maybe yesterday. They talked about this is a potential opportunity for EA to pay athletes. I don't know, because my thought is that it's going to have to be, I know they have to get permission from the schools. They'll pay the schools to be able to use their logos and stuff in there. So that's step one. And then how are they going to be able to pay athletes would be step two. And I don't know, there's a lot of legal logistics that would need to get going, need to happen to make something like that happen. I don't know if they're planning to do that, or if they're just leaking stuff just to have conversation around it, but we'll see. I mean, that's all going to come here pretty soon too.
What advice would you have college athletes looking to benefit from the name, image, and likeness?
I think base starting point is build a brand, get people invested in who you are, build a community on social, and be smart and strategic, because not everybody's going to be like that. A lot of people just are assuming money's going to fly in, and for some people it definitely is and has. But if you want to make money off your name, image, likeness, the best way to do it is have a real authentic community on social, and then brands want to pay to be involved with that community.
Where can my listeners find you at on social media?
I'm on all platforms at Pat_Curran Media. So if they're listening or seeing, obviously they see my name somewhere. CURRAN. I'm always talking about brand building, ideas, concepts, tips, advice, all that sort of stuff.
Thank you again, Pat Curran, for your interview, and best of luck in your future with keep helping college athletes with their name, image, and likeness.
Of course. Thank you.
You can find Brandon Sports Talk on Facebook at Brandon Sports Talk, Instagram at Brandon Sports Talk, Twitter at Talk_Brand, and you can find me on YouTube at Brandon Sports Talk. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Thank you again, Pat, for your interview, and best of luck.
Thank you.
You've been watching Brandon Sports Talk. Please feel free to like, share, and subscribe to Brandon Sports Talk on social media and on YouTube.